Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it, y'all. Part 2 gang, y'all, let's get it. Like, share, subscribe to the show. Let's get it. Let's go. I promise you, man. Old head was like, man, he took old head out the block. Word, everybody was like, oh, he going to the hole? Like, what you going to the hole for? So I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't put the puzzle together. The man had commissary on him. And now he going to the hole. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, this John crazy. So they kept us locked down. You know, that was for the rest of the night anyway. We was done anyway. So everybody on the door. They never let the workers out. They packed up Unc stuff. Got him up out of there, man. You know what I mean? Unc was gone. Unc was gone, man. Next morning, everybody couldn't wait. Everybody came out for breakfast. The whole pod came out for breakfast. Seen a couple of dudes standing at the white dude's cell. They were talking to him. White dude was like, man, he just came in the cell, said that he want to go to the hole, man. He said he ain't staying here, man. He said he gonna curse the CO out when they was gonna count. And he said he won't stand in the cell no more, man. So everybody, as I'm walking by, everybody like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He just wanted to go out of nowhere though, like that. He was like, man, all I knows is, that's how the white dude talk. All I knows is he came in here with a freaking grip full of food in his pants, and he emptied out everything he had, probably over 30 soups in his freaking pants. And he had a bunch of potato chips and a bunch of side items too. He was like, but he dumped it all out on the floor. He bagged it up in his box, and he said he was leaving. That's what he told me. That's all I know. So everybody like, man, that's crazy. So we get down to stuff like, yo, that's wild right there. Like, man, what is going on here? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, moves got to be made in prison, man. That's how it be, man. Like, you got to be strategic about how you move in a lot of ways, man, to be able to survive in that junk, man, because surviving prison is not easy. So his reasons for moving, maybe he had his reasons for moving. I couldn't figure it out. But that's what happened, man. And Unc was gone. Unc was gone, man. So I never seen him no more. You know what I mean? I never seen him no more at that particular time. But at the end of the day, now fast forwarding the tape game. Now I have been moved from 30 building to 60 building. So now I am in 60 building game. So now I'm going through being in a new place, like I was telling y'all in the beginning, being in a new spot where I gotta know how to move. I gotta move different. Now, it's been a little minute since that time. Well, bro, now the dude Ken ended up been moving. He had moved probably like 8 months after that situation right there with him and the old head, whatever the case, whatever it went down. He moved next door to 32 pod to the honor pod. So he was in the honor pod the whole time. He was in the honor pod for a while we were still in 30 building. Now, he still was on his same type of time of messing with this particular city that he was running with. Even though he wasn't from that particular city, he was still doing him in that. But at the end of the day, he ended up moving to the honor pod, which was a better situation. Not a lot going on. Don't got to worry about a lot of maniacs like Unc popping up. You know what I mean? So he moved to the 32 pod. So he was over there the whole time before I got moved to 60 building. So I lost track of him. So now that I'm in 60 building, I didn't even notice the whole time I was in 60 building that Ken had moved from the honor pod and 32 pod to the honor pod and 62 pod. So now he was in the honor pod in my building that they just moved me to the whole time. And I didn't even know until one day I seen him in the chow hall talking to the CEO, and I'm like, what bro doing on this side? But I seen him. Then I seen a dude, I seen him with the city that he always be with. They was with him. I'm like, bro gonna hang with that city no matter what. Like, he ain't gonna never rep his town. Like, bro ain't gonna never rep his town, man. Word, he was with that city crazy, but he on my side of the yard. I'm on a whole different side of the yard, so I see him. I'm like, man, bro over here. So like I say, he want no business to be had, so I ain't say nothing to him, but I'm pretty sure he had his hand in something. You know what I mean? So he was over in 62, so I started seeing him a few times when we go outside. When he seen me, because he didn't even see me either. When he saw me, like, what you doing on the side? Like, bro, man, Sergeant moved me, bro. Out of 30, bro, Sergeant such and such got rid of me, bro. He was like, for real, man? He was like, I ain't never like him either. I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, what's going on over this junk, though? He was like, man, slow motion. You know, he was like, yo, like, I just be relaxing, bro. He was like, I ain't got another 2 years left. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, that's what's up, bro. You about to dip before me. I was like, I got 4 years left. So like me and him kicked it for a minute. He was like, yeah, he was like, look, I be touching on the Hank sometime though. You want some Hank, bro? The tobacco game, bro. Holler at me, bro. On the weekend, I got you. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna holler at you. So he dipped, you know what I mean? So that was a little conversation we had. So when I went back to the block, I asked somebody else that was from his part of town, you know what I mean? That really didn't hang with them that much. He was an older guy, a little bit older. I asked him, did he know, you know what I mean? Did he know bro? And he was like, yeah, I know him. Yeah, he said the same thing that I know a lot of people be saying. Yeah, he be acting like he from there, but he ain't from there. Like, I'm like, I ain't comment. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I'm talking about bro, man. He was like, oh, yeah, I know him. I said, what he been over here winning on? I said, I thought he was in 32 pod. He said, man, you know he be having his hand in everything, man. He was like, man, to be honest with you, man, like for real though, like if he don't provide, I don't even think the dudes from the city will rock with him. So I'm like, why you say that though, man? He was like, I'm being honest. He was like, man, that's why. He was like, bro, it don't matter. He was like, bro, like, he told me the law of the 48 laws. I forgot what law it was because he was one of these dudes that read the 48 laws of power. So he told me to join. He was like, look, the law in this, in the Sun Tzu book, He was like, look, the first you got to do this. You got to be able to take over without moving the muscle. I forgot how he put it, but he was like, basically, that's what the dude can do. Like the dude did a hostile takeover on the city just because he was capable of getting to money. You know what I mean? Like you could be number one for that. Now, this particular city that he's hanging with, they had dudes that were psychos, definitely. And for real, they was quiet psychos. Because when you come to Lawrenceville, like you could tell somebody that was a psycho prior to Lawrenceville. Like you could just see it in them, man. Like when you get to Lawrenceville will have you like, yo, I'm in chill mode, bro. I'm gonna get me a phone, bro. Talk to my girl every night, man. Stay out the way, eat good. Don't be locked down all the time like them level 4s, bro. Lawrenceville got its good perks. If you someone that's not really in the way, like Lawrenceville could be a good prison for you to do time if you're just trying to do time. So those maniacs that's in disguise, you know what I mean? They definitely was from that city that Kim was hanging with. But they are content because they are able to get a little paper, mess with the la whenever they want to, get the tobacco game, you know what I mean? And they got phones. So like everything was job in place for them already. Anywhere Ken went, he job had stuff in place, you know what I mean? Everything was smooth. So the weekend came around, bro hit for the tobacco, bro hollered at me, bro he threw me a cup, and I bought a cup, you know what I mean? I was like, bro, I'll send you $25, give me another cup. He was like, all right, he went in his pocket and threw me another cup. So I walked away with a 50 sack, only for $25. I got bro money situated, I got everything straight for him, made sure I took care of my tab. So when I went outside, man, it was crazy, because it was one of them days that it was a good day outside, you know what I mean? So like, it be different people coming in the pods, I already know how it go. So as we outside, everybody outside, I'm out there joint hitting the roll up with my homeboy. We chilling, everybody out there, nice day, like 68 degrees, beautiful day outside. Everybody chilling, we look up. We see the police clearing the boulevard. See the police coming from like the end where the visitor room at now. Now I'm on the 60 building side of the yard. Like that's the side where the visitor room is at basically. So you can see people coming from the gym by 80 building or from whatever that building is over there. You can see them coming from there. But we look, we seen a dude coming, like he was walking, they had a cart. And I couldn't really see him from afar. But as the closer he got, looked up, why he was like, and I looked, I was like, yo, that's the old head. But when I looked and seen it was the old head, I couldn't remember his name. But I saw it was the old head dude that was in 30 building. Ken and them was all right there, like at the beginning of the fence. So now he's about to pass them. So he passed Ken, he like, oh, what's up, Ken? Where you at? Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been in a hole, man. Was in 50 building. He tried to say something. Ken was just looking at him like, CO was like, come on, keep walking. So he like, what pod you going to? That's the only thing Ken said. What pod you going to? He was like, I'm going to 61 pod. He was coming to my pod. I was like, Lord, man. So they put dude in our pod. So we go back to the building. When we get back to the building, you know what I mean? I think he learned his lesson from the first time of how you really pull up on Ken and be questioning him about the case. But whatever it was, he kind of like wasn't being like this time around. So I thought he was gonna be out in the silent port when we was coming back from outside wrecking. He'd catch Ken, So Ken got the tobacco around this time. So Ken didn't say nothing else to that. I mean, he didn't really say nothing to Ken. So next day, all around, they did a little fake shakedown, man. This word, they was running down on people in the whole building, but they was hitting certain cells. They ran down on Ken's cell, man. They ended up finding tobacco, not a lot of tobacco, just a couple of roll-ups already rolled up. But they were on the table by his roommate bed. So his roommate ended up taking a case. But they was trying to say there was Ken. The punishment for him getting caught with that, they got petty, man. They moved him out the honor pod. And I know he hated that because when they moved him out the honor pod, man, they put him in 61 with the worst of old head, y'all. So boom. So now he's in the pod with us. Man, him coming in our pod wasn't a bad thing because he's getting to work. And he knew a lot of the other dudes from the cities that's over there that he be rocking with anyway. And when he walked in, you could tell people was happy. He wasn't really too mad. He was happy that he didn't go to the hole for the incident rather, but his roommate got locked up. So he come in the block. He was happy. They was like, yo, you moving in the cell down here. So they tell him, they help him with his stuff. They put him in the cell over there. So he get over to his cell. He come out, he moving around. The old head dude sit at the table. The old head dude see him. The old head dude looking. So the old head dude just getting out the hole. So I feel like the old head dude was at least expecting him to be like, yo, look, play fair, da-da-da-da-da. You know, so old head don't say. Now, the old head trying to get that stupid fro lined up. So he had to go out in the barber shop. Y'all know our barber shop is out in the salad port. So the barber called him out there. So when the barber called him out there, the barber was this old head dude. I forgot his name. Man. He was a funny old head too, had the gray in his little fro. He was a funny dude too. He was from the 804, but he was one of them funny dudes too, man. But he was the barber in 60 building. So he was in my part as well. So he's the barber. He called the old head out there that Ken know. So my homeboy was already in the chair getting a haircut. So he said, this is what my homeboy told me. So my homeboy said the old head come out there. So, you know, his barbershop is big enough for you. Like, yo, you come in the bar for you don't be standing out in the hall. You know what I mean? They tell you leave. So he told him come step in the barbershop. So he stepped in the barbershop, which is a little space for him to just stand at the door like this while he finishing up my homeboy. So my homeboy said while he was cutting his hair, the old head that be cutting hair was like, hey, look, what you doing over here, man? The old head was acting like he knew him. So he said, the old head, Ken was like, man, look, man, I don't care, man. Like, as soon as they get me wrong, I'm gonna go to the hole. Man. He was like, man, but it's a nigga in here I know got some food for me, but he ain't gonna give me none. So the barber dude, my homeboy was like, who you talking about? He was like, man, Ken from my town. He's like, man, I grew up down the street from Ken. I know his goddamn aunts. I know his body. I even know his daddy. He was like, I know everybody in his family, man. He was like, every time he get around me, he act like he don't know me. So my homeboy was like, he's sitting in the barber chair looking like, man, Unc just came out here venting for nothing. You know what I mean? So he said the barber dude super nosy. He said the barber dude was like, well, why you think he treating you like that then? Like, just trying to make conversation. Why you think he treating you like that then? If you feel like that, why you think he doing these things? He was like, man, I don't know. He don't want me to burst his bubble. Like, it was a pause back then. Like, it'll be a pause. He was like, I don't know. He want me to burst his bubble. Yeah, he want me to put him on blast. That's what he want. So the barber dude was like, put him on blast. What do you mean? Put him on blast. How you gonna put Ken on blast? Ken the one getting the money in here. What you talking about? He was like, man, nah, man. Y'all think Ken, y'all don't even know who he is for real, man. He was like, but we all make mistakes when we young, you know what I mean? He was only 19, you know, we all make mistakes, you know, but he paid for it though. He paid for it because he about to get out soon for it, but that girl's still traumatized. That's what I'm gonna tell you. So my homeboy said, when he said that, he looked up at him, he said, oh, he looked right up in his eyes and was like, yeah. The girl still traumatized though. She done got a little older, but she traumatized still. My homeboy said the barber was like, what do you mean she traumatized? What, he raped her? He was like, I mean, you know how it is. Like, we country. Like, you know, we all grew up around family, people that we call family, people that ain't really your family, they say your family, and you know how it is when you all in the house, slumber parties and all that. He was like, but I'm not taking up for him. He was 19. He was 19 when he done this shit, man. He was like, man, you know what? Let me shut up, man. So now my homeboy was like, nah. What you talking about? Go ahead and finish saying what you saying. He said, oh, yeah, turn around and was like, man, I ain't doing that shit, man. I ain't doing that shit. So the barber dude was like, all right, you finished. So my homeboy was like, he got up. You know what I mean? So he said, oh, yeah, sat in the chair. So he said the barber looked at my homeboy like, nah, we ain't letting him get away with this. So he said the barber dude was like, nah, look. Hey, look. If somebody ain't right, man, you need to let us know if somebody ain't right. So my homeboy was like, yeah, like, you need to speak up about that, man. He was like, man, I don't care, man. People probably know this anyway. It's public information. My homeboy was like, what's public information? He was like, he got a graping charge. He got a statutory graping charge. Dude was like, my homeboy was like, what you mean a statutory? He was like, man, just like I was saying, we country, man. He was like, used to be a girl that used to be with his sister. He said, this is little sister. Sister only 12. He said, a girl used to stay night over his sister's house, man. You know what I mean? He said, man, a man used to grape her every night, man. He said he was graping her all the way until she was 14, man. He said, man, that man 19 years old, man. Still graping the girl, man. So he said the girl finally told her peoples. He said the girl peoples didn't even call the cops. He said the girl peoples called the church. They tried to fix it through the church. He was like, but the girl peoples had a crazy uncle. And he found out they was trying to fix this through the church. And he made his sister press charges. So they said they brought charges on the Ken, man. He said when they found out he did that, he was like, the town threw the book at him. See, he got 13 years for that stuff, y'all. So boom. Say he threw the book at him. So my homeboy come back. Information. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, he came back and told all us. He was like, yeah. Say, bro, got a graping jank, bro. Say he was graping a young jank for 2 years since she was 12. You know what I mean? It was like, everybody was like, what? Like, yeah, bro. Like, man, nah, bro. That y'all crazy. So my homeboy was like, man, for real, bro. Like we ain't got nothing to do with that joint. That joint in our city, bro. Like he ain't, you know how many people probably got one of them cases that's walking around us. I was like, bro, I feel the same way. I was like, bro, I don't care, bro. I said, that's just like a predator. I said, bro, dude, a predator in prison. I said, he was doing that on the street. So at the end of the day, bro, we walking around madness every day. We can't be the madness police, bro. So my homeboy was like, nah, I ain't telling y'all about that. He was like, I just rocked with such and such that was from that city. He was like, now, the only reason I say that I feel like they should know is because dude already a job. He infiltrated anyway, not being from that city. So like, I feel like I'm obligated since I rock with bro to put bro onto this information. So I'm like, I don't know, bro. I'm like, yo, bro, because that could be crazy. I said, bro, because it can turn into be who's right and who's wrong. I said, ain't nobody got no evidence. Nobody has no proof that this man did this, actually, man. Dudes were like, man, my homeboy was like, nah, they say you can look it up. All these cell phones in here, bro. They was like, nah, real talk, bro. I feel like my homeboy, so my other homeboy was like, nah, bro, you should stay out of it. So they kind of was like going back and forth, like, nah, bro, that ain't right. And like, for real, like, I'm sitting there listening to both, you know what I mean, perspectives, man. And it's like the only decision I can think, man, was the man, like, man, put him on blast, y'all, so boom. That's the only thing I can think of, man. Like, he can't get away with this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be walking around like you top chief when you got a graping charge, man. At the end of the day, a young girl, like, man, I wasn't really feeling that, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. So, like, I told bro, I ain't tell bro exactly go do it. I said, bro, it's on you to do whatever you want to do. I told him, oh, boy, man, you can't tell him not to do that, bro. He was like, I just ain't trying to have our name in the nothing, bro. We ain't here chilling. I'm like, you right. I said, bro, but listen, bro, if somebody was messing with kids, bro, they got to get to the bottom of this junk, man. I was like, ain't no need to try to hide this junk. So my homeboy looked at it, bro, again. He like, man, I wouldn't say nothing, bro, if I was you, bro. Let them handle that. And I'm like, man, the old head just put his business on blast. You know what I mean, to the barber. I told my homeboy, I said, you think the barber ain't gonna say nothing to his selling? I said, it's about to get out, man. I said, when it get out, that's how y'all gonna fully see how Ken carry it, y'all. So boom. Now I know Ken won't gonna be happy by hearing this type of news, but the news is out. The cat is out the bag. You know what I mean? So my homeboy was like, man, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it, because you right. He told my homeboy, you right. I don't really start this stuff. He was like, but I just rock with the dude from his city. He was like, we work out together. We kick it together. We got class together. He was like, kick it with dude every day. He said, we ain't from the same spot. He was like, but we cool though. So I'm like, I felt, bro. You know what I mean? Because like, this is something crazy to hold a secret. What would y'all do at the end of the day? Y'all already know these people got to pay. Y'all already know what my opinion was. Like, you gotta go, man. Real talk. So I had rock with Ken though, even though, you know what I mean, I ain't know, but it wasn't no evidence. But still though, I was still on how my bro was feeling, man. So for the rest of the day, like after the barber, the barber was cutting for the rest of the day until it was time down there to lock down. So that's when he finally came back in the block. So when we locked down, of course he's probably gonna tell his selling. And of course my homeboys was talking about it. And I can't make everybody close their mouth. So who knows who they told when they was in their cell, you know what I mean? All I know is this. When we came back out, man, I seen my homeboy, man. My homeboy, he was kind of like in deep thoughts. Like he was kind of like just sitting on the table. Like as soon as the door that popped and I came out and looked, my homeboy was already just sitting at the table. But when I looked, his roommate had to cut up. So he probably let his roommate use the bathroom. So my homeboy was just sitting at the table like he was just thinking like, you know what I mean? Like, you're crazy, man. I'm like, man, what are you? Now, I wasn't going to be the one to go tell them bros, because I didn't want to be all involved in like that. But if my homeboy caught that information and he feels some type of way about the information, he should be the one to relay that information, y'all. So boom. So I seen him, I'm like, hey, bro. He looked back. I was like, man, bro, do you, bro? Do what you want to do, bro. He looked, he was like, got up, you know what I mean? I seen him walk over there where Ken them sell at. He walked over there to the dude's cell. He was like, I said, listen, like that knock was echoing. That jump was like, he's standing over there by Ken's cell. He just right there. Dude walk out. The dude he rock with. We gonna call him Ralph. Now Ralph was like a light, kind of real light brown skin dude. He damn near looked light skinned. Kind of light brown skin dude. Had the little curly fro. You know what I mean? Kept himself together. Stay in the mix of something, getting money. He cool. Stay out of the way. Like I told y'all, a maniac in hibernation. You know what I mean? From that city that bro be hanging with. So he come to the door. That's the dude my homeboy be talking to. He come to the door. He like, oh, what's up, bro? You like, hey, look, come in the cells. My homeboy was like, nah, come on. I can see my homeboy like, step out. So he like, you sure, bro? Like, you know what I mean? My homeboy was like, nah, come on. So he like, so he closed the door, boom. him and my homeboy just start spinning laps. I mean, they start spinning laps. So like on the third lap, I can tell by the dude posture, the dude Ralph, he was like, so like on the fifth lap, they stopped. And you see my homeboy was like, he called the Barber dude. He was like, the Barber dude walked over there. I seen the Barber dude going like this. I said, man, Ken ass out back, y'all. So boom. Everything was coming together. Everything was right there on Front Street. My homeboy couldn't take it no more, so he went back and told the dudes from the city. Word, dudes from the city. He talked to the Barber. He was like, I guess he was saying, y'all ain't got no evidence. The Barber was like, pointed at the old head. That's word. They pointed at the old head. Nigga was like, man, hold on. The nigga dip. This word, nigga dip. Goddamn it. I look. Goddamn. Nigga was like, yo, he came back and told my homeboy something. He came, I don't know what it was. He came back and told my homeboy something. My homeboy was like, made a face like, you know what I mean? Like everything was straight. So my homeboy, after he talked to him, he came back over there where we was at. I was like, oh, what happened? He was like, yo, he told him. He was like, look, they can't do nothing to him right now. You know what I mean? He was like, for one, they need proof. He was like, and for two, he was like, they got something they waiting on that's about to be here this weekend. You know what I mean? So he was like, they can't do nothing right about now. But he was like, yo, that shit fucked up though, if that shit true. You know what I mean? So he was like, I told the nigga, but this is how the street is now. Like a nigga can be a maniac rat, and a nigga got the proof, the evidence, and everything, and the nigga ain't gonna do nothing to him. Now these dudes from that other city, they ain't trying to mess their play up, and I respect that, business first. But this dude got a grape in charge, man. He must pay, y'all. So boom, that's all I was waiting on, man. Like this is crazy, man. So they spared him. Now I don't know if the news that got out, or I don't know if they found out if it was exact evidence on this. I don't know, but nothing happened to Ken. Ken came out, got his suit, made a butt naked like it was normal. Didn't know that everybody was like this on him. So it was crazy. I looked, I seen my homeboy. My homeboy was in the back handicap cell, which is another old head that's not from that city, but he know everybody on the block. My homeboy was in there. He called me in there. Look, the old head can't see the whole handicap when you walk the handicap cell when you walk in the jump, because it's a big jump. So if somebody's sitting over there, you gotta go around the corner. So I walk in the cell. I was like, oh man, I see the old head. I'm like, what's up? He was like, hey, tell him what you told me. He was like, looked at me, he was like, aren't you in 33 pod? I was like, yeah. He was like, you don't remember when I checked in? I was like, yeah. He was like, he paid me to leave. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, Ken. He paid me to leave. He gave me $50 of food, told me just shut up and move. I was like, what? Shut up and move? I said, man, I looked at my homeboy. I said, yo, listen. I said, man, he can't keep hiding the truth, man. I said, man, go ahead, man. You know what I mean? He was like, nah. They told me, wait, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, man, this is crazy right here, man. Either way, this wasn't looking like it was a good thing about to happen, man. Ken is in the blind. Everybody knows the business slightly now, man. And this man got a grape in charge, man. But finding out somebody's case can be scary like this, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, Ken is in the blind about this, man. He's still over there making his soup like everything normal. He like,
get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.